Hey guys, so another video just in regards to offering hope, offering some tips to get to recovery from this shit. So the big thing that I got mixed up with and what set me off track was, I see it happening with a lot of people, is that when you finally, because to overcome this, you got to go out and feel the sensations, you got to go out and feel the panic, you got to go into those places, you got to get in those cars, you got to go to those shops, those stores, you got to do all that stuff. But people get confused when they do it 2 or 3 times, and when they do it 2 or 3 times, they think that they become worse. They feel they don't make recovery, they feel they don't make progress in their recovery, they feel more defeated than staying stuck in their house and just feeling anxiety on a certain level. So what happens there is, guys, you've been living this life of anxiety since you had your first panic attack, whether that's going on 6 months or 6 years or 6 weeks. So that habit has built up in your mind. What you've been doing to reassure yourself from these symptoms, what you've been doing to protect yourself from something that doesn't even need protection from, is all a big bunch of shit clustered up into these habits, because your body and brain is actually working to protect you. It's just overloaded with the first panic attack. Just sets shit, like just disrupts everything in your life. So for you to overcome this and face it, you think you're going to overcome it by 3 trips to the shop. I did that many times. I'd have these bursts of motivation and willpower, and I'd go out and tackle things like that, thinking that, alright, I'm gonna get in this car now and go to this place. And I'd go to the place and I'd be absolutely shaking and feeling like turning the car around. You know, I'd get brought there and I'd be like to people, no, just take me back, I can't do it, and take me back. And I wouldn't tackle it again for maybe, I don't know how long, could go on for months before I tackle it. And I retreat into this life where it's comfortable, where I wouldn't get as much anxiety, that I could still do certain things, and I was comfortable living like that. What a life to live, guys, where you're afraid to do certain things, in fear of these symptoms, that if you only tackled them for a long period of time and understood what they were, you would go on and live a life that is just beautiful, you know. And how I got over that was, I was doing those behaviours, I was doing those exposures, and I was just half-assing them. I'd go into it like once every so often, and I'd get in the car every so often, and I end up not going on a bus for like 5 years or something because of that thought pattern. That, you know, you can't recover that way, guys. So how do you recover? What you do is you get so sick of living like this that you say, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm just not doing it. I don't care what it takes, I'm going to overcome this. And you start to get your life back. And when you start to get your life back and do the exposures, it's horrible at first. You feel like you're making no progress. Even a week or 2 into it, you just feel like you're stuck in square one still, because sometimes the anxiety builds up more. Because you've lived comfortable with this anxiety, you've been on probably a level 7, 10 being a panic attack, you've been on a level 7 or 8 for many months. And then when you go into then, you're experiencing the panic and it's flooding your body again. And you think you're getting worse. Well, you're not getting worse, that's for sure. It's just that you put your mind into this, it almost feels like a traumatic situation now, because you've avoided it so much and you attach so much fear and shit to it. So how you get over this, guys, is what I done was, I reached the point in my life where I was gonna recover. I didn't care what had to be done. I didn't care, I had to panic all day long for a whole year. That was the mindset I went into. This is my life. There's so much beauty in life that I want. The simple things, just to feel good in myself, confident, be able to go to the gym, be able to go on runs, get on buses, go out with friends, go have coffee with friends, go out, start a beautiful relationship, you know, all start working full time again, create a business. All those beautiful small things in life I couldn't do, and that's what I wanted back in my life, and nothing was ever going to stop me. So guys, if you're having that type of approach to starting your recovery, and you go into it and You feel like shit because you feel like you're not making progress. No, guys, what it is, it's consistency, discipline. If you're someone that has an anxiety disorder or panic attacks, I can guarantee you now, it's been a long, long time since you had discipline in your life. You have no discipline in your sleep, no discipline in what you eat, no discipline in what you do on a daily basis because there's no plan, because you feel like you can't do shit. If you start to structure your life around the discipline, what I did was I didn't care. My life was on the line, and I said to myself, every morning I'm going to go up, get up and go into panic symptoms, and I'm going to start off slow. And that slow was getting up and running around my block. I'd do that every day until I got sick of it. Until I got sick of going into that, then I started to go 2k. And weeks went on, I jogged my first 5k or whatever. And that's how recovery happens. I didn't stop, and there was a month into that where I'd done it every day. And that was like a discipline then. It was like a habit. It was like something that I haven't done in many years. Like I was getting up, I had a meaning to my day. My meaning is what your meaning should be. Getting over this behavioural condition. And how do you overcome behaviours? You do exactly the opposite of what you're doing right now. So what I done was, I started off slowly. I knew that the method I used all those years ago was, I'd go on a jog. This was the old Glenn. I'd go on a jog, go as far as I could, did 2k or something, feel so panicked that I wouldn't try it again for many. I'd think there was a different way to do it. This isn't the way to recovery. There has to be another way. There's no other way. And that's it. That's plain. That's straight to the truth. Fact. There's no other way to overcome anxiety disorder unless you're willing to go in and show your brain consistently that this doesn't bring death, this doesn't bring heart attack, this doesn't bring fainting or collapse or going insane and being dragged into a psychiatric ward, strapped up and foiled with medication for the rest of your life with drill popping out of your mouth. It doesn't. That's just irrational thoughts, guys. That, you know, when you go into that every day, you will see. I am just amazed how like the brain recovered so quick for me. I had this shit for 10 years. 10 years, and I'm so passionate in what I'm speaking now because it's just, it just confuses me, like how I not wasted it. I'm so glad I had them 10 years of self-discovery and self-awareness. I had that shit for 10 years. All those fears, nothing ever happened to me. And it took me 10 years to finally say, this is it. This is it. I can't take it anymore. So much hurt in those 10 years. You can only imagine what I've missed out on. So guys, going towards recovery, just don't get it into your mind that if I do this 2 or 3 times I'm recovered. No, you're not. What you do is you gotta go into those exposures, into those places. Start off small, start off gradual, consistently go from, like, create a hierarchy. Like me, I wanted to jog into the symptoms. I wanted to bring on these symptoms so much that I don't care if I have a heart attack or fainting. And that was, for me, it was like the mental suicide towards the mental side of like what's happening in my mind, the disorder. I didn't care what happened. I gave up control and I start running into panic. And what I would do, I'd go 1k for a couple of weeks, really short ones, really short. Sometimes I'd go 2 or 3 times a day. My life depended on it. And then I'd end up, like, within a month I'd be jogging 5k to places I haven't been in many years. And I then remember going like 15k in towards the city centre and back. And that, as I said previously in this video, I didn't go into the city centre on a bus for 5 years. Imagine the psychological win I just had there. Not fearing going into a place on a bus. Now I'd fucking jogged in. Imagine the beauty in that, the psychological advantage then I had over my mind. And that's where recovery then was like, okay, if I can do that, I started to believe in my body, believe in my mind again. I started to do things. I would go in, burn off my adrenaline, jog, and I'd get the bus back or the train back, you know. And I didn't just stop there. I didn't let a setback come in where I'd be up all night having a panic attack and I'd be so tired. I didn't care. The next day I was getting up at 7 or 8 a.m. and going on a jog, whether I had 3 hours or 4 hours sleep. My life depended on it. And in that time, 4 to 5 months, guys, and I swear 4 to 5 months it took me to recover from a 10-year anxiety disorder. And in 4 to 5 months I went from not being able to jog 1 kilometre from home, terrified, jogging beside hospitals in case something happens, just full of fear, to then on the 5th the 5th month, getting on a plane and going to Paris for the first time in 10 years, doing a double marathon, and then doing a half marathon around Paris at like 30 something degree heat. I just had a total psychological switch over, guys. And the thing is, the mistake I made all those years was waiting, thinking there was a different way out of this. You know, waiting so many years or so many months as well for some people, thinking there's another way out of this. There's not. You got to go face this, guys, and when you face it, you realise you take your whole life back. Depending on how deep you go into it has to be gradual. I believe in flooding also. I did flooding in moments where I was like, okay, I'm going to go on a big long jog here. I'm going to be flooded with anxiety. I'll go do it. But I did that gradually because I was doing 1K, then a 5K. I was gradually building up to the flood. So yeah, that's it, guys. There's no other way out of this. You got to go in and face those fears. Face that panic head on. There's no disaster on the end of this. All it is a little bit extra anxiety, and then if you continuously do it, the brain rewires. You have your life back. Sounds so simple, but it's not simple. It is simple, but it's not easy. It's fucking hard to go against everything your body and mind says and push through it. That's so hard. But of all the lost confidence you've had in your life, everything wiped away from you, doing this and getting your life back brings all that confidence back 1,000,000 times more than you've ever had. And that's the beauty of it. I was so low in confidence, guys, and by me just doing that and taking control of my life again, I was the most confident I have ever been in my life as a man. I never felt so confident, and it was absolutely amazing. And I still thrive off that confidence now to where I am right now, in the middle of Paris, jogging around like a lunatic. The confidence I have is, I was down and out, I was broke, Anyway, gonna leave it at that, guys. I'm 12 minutes in. I think this is gonna be a great video for people. Please listen to it all. Well, obviously, if you listen to this, when I'm saying listen to it all, you've listened to it all. Anyway, leave it at that. For those that, my motto, take what you need and leave the rest. Try get some nuggets of wisdom out of it. And remember, recovery isn't going out now, jumping in a car and thinking that's it. It's doing that every day. It's doing it small. It's what I just explained in the video, guys. Take it easy, yeah?